Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and here's telling you about the wonderful energies of the full moon of the 22nd of August. And I'm bringing this video and blog to you from the sunny west of Ireland, where we here in Sligo have been enjoying the wonderful Tread Softly festival with its wonderful poetry and music, art exhibitions and archaeological tours to the very ancient sacred sites, which are many round here. And in fact, there is a full moon on the 22nd of August, which will actually be giving us a lot of good things for us to respond positively to if we know about them, know the detail and make the right step to cooperate. So listen to the rest of this video, read the blog about the exceptional and powerful openings that we can connect to around the time of this full moon. And the charts for the full moon in both Western and Vedic astrology are on our August page on our starwheelastrology.com website. So this full moon is in Aquarius and the sun is opposite in Leo. And so, this is important, the water bearer and the lion combine. The moon is in Dhanishta Nakshatra, whose power animal is the lion. The sun is in Magha Nakshatra, whose symbol is the royal throne. The ascendant of this full moon is in Swati Nakshatra at 11 degrees Vedic Libra. Now this full moon is at 5 degrees Vedic Aquarius, and Aquarius energy includes the humanitarian, positive life force and evolution. And this full moon is closely conjunct Jupiter, the hope giver, the bigger picture giver, retrograding at 2 Aquarius. And very importantly, this full moon is also close to Fomalhaut, which is one of the 4 royal stars of ancient Persia and Mesopotamia. And the energy of Fomalhaut is not just a royal energy, it also mediates us the energies of unseen realms. Its energy is also idealistic and psychic. We can benefit. Listen on, read on. Now the sun is opposite the moon, obviously it's a full moon, at 5 degrees Leo, and Leo is the royal sign. And super importantly, the sun of this full moon is closely conjunct the star Regulus. And amazingly, Regulus is also one of the 4 royal stars of ancient Persia and Mesopotamia. So this full moon activates and is activated by 2 of the 4 royal stars of the super percipient and valid ancient astrology. Now the sign of Leo is, at its ethical highest, the energy of rightly exercised kingship, of government and military power, honour and wealth and generosity. But negatively, of course, it can be bossy or dictatorial. And indeed, the negative side of the royal star Regulus is volatility and destructiveness. So we must express our true and right power now, and I suggest methods below. So 2 of the 4 royal stars are within the energy of this wonderful, strengthening and also inspirational full moon. How will you respond? Will you take hold of this opportunity? Well, one way I would sincerely suggest is vision work. It will be useful to take a moment on the day of this full moon or around the time of this full moon to seek to connect yourself to the energies of it, Take a pause to envision the royal being that is within each of us, within each man and woman. Take the time now to envision your true self standing before you. Look at your true self now. What qualities does he or she have which maybe are suppressed or harmed or marginalised, say from our childhood influences or our social influences, any of that, from our negative scripts? See your royal true self standing before you now. And then hear if your true self has anything to say to you. Greet your true self. Stretch out your arm to greet your true self. Open yourself to the inspirations and connection to your royal and true self that this full moon brings. And then, when you're ready, bring your true self actually into physical merger within you. Let this full moon light you up in troubled times indeed. Take the noble way for you. And then resolve to check out your embodiment, your state of embodiment, several times in ongoing days. Are you continuing to embody the royal being that is your true self, your inspired self? If we do this, it will boost us and heal us and empower us. Now, this royal true self is, of course, very far from being the wrong sort of royal. He or she will not be pretentious or overbearing, but he or she will have rightful strength of king or queen of your personal kingdom. Your true self, the royal self, is the driver of the chariot of yourself. And remember, the charioteer holds reins in his hands, and those reins go to the horses that pull the chariot forward, just as the chariot of the sun is pulled forward and manages and directs the horses, which are the other planets. Everything has to be organised and strategized under love and justice. Take the noble way for you. And so bring this episode of your ongoing vision work to a close. But over the days coming, guard and foster and repeat what you have gained. So the second major topic, in addition to vision work, is inspiration. Pay attention to insights that come to you around this time. You see, Jupiter conjunct the full moon is inspirational. The royal star Fomalhaut conjunct the full moon is fortunate and powerful with sublime scope. But, like so many things, it has an energy downside which can befall from the sublime, so make sure that's not you. And as I said, the full moon is in Dhanishta Nakshatra, whose essence is listening. Listen at this time of your vision work to what inspirations come to you and arise. Listen for divine inspiration and seek to make the effort to embody the wisdom of universal principles at this time, universal principles of spirituality and ethics in handling the royal energy, in handling the inspiration. And as I said, Sun is conjunct the royal star Regulus, the king star of ancient Persia and Mesopotamia. And Regulus's energy is royalty, frankness, and courage. Now, looking at the wider issues at this time of the full moon, it's important to know, well, a very significant point, I have to say, is that Regulus of this full moon is, of course, conjunct Donald Trump's ascendant. Donald Trump's ascendant is conjunct Regulus. And so the fact is that this full moon will be super empowering now for Donald Trump in his present manoeuvring to retake the House and to become nominated for the next presidential election. It's important to realise that we will be dealing with that and its wider context. Know at this time too, it's tense, and that's because Uranus, the planet of revolution, transiting in Vedic Aries, is square Saturn in Vedic Capricorn. Uranus, the stormer of the Bastille, is pitting himself against Saturn's blocks and negative structures in your life and in the society that you live in, at the personal level and the social level. And Uranus is super powerful now because he's virtually at stationary motion, although he has just turned retrograde. And the slower a planet moves in the heaven, the deeper it engraves its energy in our consciousness and our lives. Freedom raises its standard now for you, for me. Do not continue to cling to your blocks and limits. Let your spirit flow clearly. And the next bit of related news of the moment is this. There will be extra tension and fear now because Rahu, the North Node, transiting in Vedic Taurus, is also aspecting Saturn in Vedic Capricorn, creating tension and fear. And also know at this time, power is welling up. That can be good power and dark power. Because Pluto in Capricorn is pitting himself against Saturn in Capricorn. Some of the power tidal wave that is steadily erupting from this will of course be wrongful power. But the energy does give us the chance to contact and express our true and rightful power, and of course to contact our buried power, because so many of us didn't have our in childhood didn't have our true power recognized and allowed. For so many of us, our society setting doesn't allow us our true power and our rightful power. Related to this, know also that this is the time of the Pluto return of the USA. Pluto transiting in the heavens is closing on Pluto in the birth chart of the USA. The first exact hit will be in May 2023. And in the run-up and in the sequel, so much about power and the wrongful use of power must and will arise in the USA to be dealt with. Darkness will further rise. But of course the divine purpose of this, and every country has these sort of phases, the divine purpose of this is to give healing to what needs to be healed. But the tension and unrest unfortunately will, but shouldn't, spill over into endless conspiracy theories and pointless forms of posturing and social unrest and political correctness. Now 2 days later, this full moon moves on to conjunct Neptune. Now the positive side of that means that the visionary and inspirational energies we will receive will be yet further increased. That's the positive side. And the day after, the moon will conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. And Chiron opposes Venus in the heavens. Let your embodiment work and your inspiration connection continue so that we may gain healing of our wounds, including of our wounds to love and the wounds to the issues of value in ourself and our life. Venus at this time is in the picky sign of Virgo. Venus is debilitated in Virgo. Love and sexuality can't be so fully or easily expressed for Venus in Virgo. So take time to be aware if the Venus in Virgo energy is having a harmful effect on you. Make a special extra effort to treasure your love relationships. Throughout the inevitably troubled times ahead, given the wider planetary energy movements, let us all remember and all be able to recall and re-embody the true me, the royal self that you and I can contact around the time of this August full moon. Remember also that at this time Mercury and Mars are both transiting in Vedic Leo. So be aware of the need to avoid fighting or irritable speech, please. Mars in Leo will heat things up, leading to angry emotions that must be dealt with properly and lovingly in our relationships. And on the level of the weather, of course, there will be an increase in fires. And of course, at the level of communications and IT, they'll continue to have the trouble they've had recently from this Mercury-Mars connection. Quite difficult troubles for so many people. You can check out which houses in your Vedic birth charts are the signs of Aquarius, where the moon is, and Leo, where the sun is at the time of this full moon. So you can just click on the website page on my Star Wheel Astrology website, which gives the meaning of all the houses. You can book an astrology reading with me by going to my buy page on my Star Wheel Astrology website. These are expert and detailed readings combining Vedic astrology always with psychodynamic and evolutionary Western astrology. You can book a healing with my wife Maggie Pashley, who offers an immensely wide range of healing modalities worldwide. See her website at maggiepashley.com. So do subscribe to my astrology blog, starwheelastrology.com, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Michael Conneely. So I do feel excited to have brought this news to you, and my prayer is that you will, and that I will, as fully as possible, rise to the occasion of these very special energies and inspirations. Thank you.